Hello YouTube, welcome back to yet another video. Again, I apologize for the lighting. I had planned on making videos earlier today, but the time slipped away from me because this is such a good book. All of them are. This is like my 24th book this year so I'm almost halfway done. With my 48 list, finished the Heroes of Olympus and stuff, but today I am going, hang on, let me fix this, here we go. And by the way, if you can see this like hazy stuff right here, I apologize because I am too lazy to shave while I'm in quarantine, so this is all this haze right here. You can't really see it because it's so dark, but right there, yeah. It's terrible in real life. But today I'm going to be doing a couple of announcements along with a bit of a rant. So my first announcement, I already made it. I'm halfway done with my list. Second announcement is I have decided that I am going to become Xander Hall's biggest enemy on YouTube. The guy, I can't stand the guy. He's just so arrogantly wrong and just makes me so mad because he is just so anti-truth and he doesn't even know that what he's saying is ludicrous. So I'm going to become his YouTube enemy. If any of you watching this somehow know Xander Hall, yeah, tell him about me and I will debunk his butt so fast. We could have a big conversation. That's never going to happen, but on the off chance, remember this video. Alright, now, the rant. A couple months ago, I made my first connection to Xander Hall. I saw one of his videos, and that one led me to another one, to another one, to another one, to another one, and I fell down this entire time warp of stupidity. And I just, wow, it was so hard to actually think straight when this guy was talking. So I made a video on it, and YouTube had taken me off saying I had violated their guidelines, which I hadn't. I hadn't violated any guidelines. I mentioned that I'm a Christian. I mentioned that I don't believe in such things as transgenderism or homophobia. I don't believe homophobia is real. Racism is real in select parts, but it's not the overwhelming majority. Sexism isn't real. I mean, it is, but to the same extent that racism, it's real, but it's not the majority of the country. So, that's one of the things that they called me on. I got a email from YouTube telling me to watch myself, and for someone who claims to be a free speech platform, they really aren't. By the way, this video is not for little children. So, if you're worried about COPPA or COPA or whatever the heck they're calling that junk, this is not for little children. So, on that note, I'm going to go into the next part of my rant about Xander Hall. Where to begin? So Xander Hall is what he calls himself an intellectual. He really isn't. He's a really, 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 really dumb person. He's really dumb. That sounds mean, or if your feelings are hurt because I'm calling names, then again, get off this channel because you'll be so triggered by the things that I have to say, and I don't care. So, Get off. Next part. So earlier this evening, I was watching a video by Matt Walsh. Conservative speaker for the Daily Wire. Cool guy. Don't agree with him on everything. Disagree with a bit of his stuff. But that's not the majority. Just like I disagree with Ben Shapiro, Andrew Klavan, Dennis Prager, Steven Crowder, pretty much everyone I have disagreements with, but not overwhelmingly. So, I was watching one of Matt Walsh's videos, and YouTube recommended me a Xander Hall video of Xander Hall debunking Matt Walsh. So, of course, I had to watch it. Xander Hall is notorious, absolutely notorious, for putting words in people's mouths or rephrasing some of their quotes to make them fit his narrative. Now, I don't think, because he's only about 20 years old, I don't think he's old enough to have his own ideas. I just think he's been completely manipulated and brainwashed by Hollywood and DC and all these ridiculously stupid people that have such an influence in this country. The school systems have failed the children miserably by not teaching, because, one of the things that people always say is teach, don't preach. Well, teaching in public schools has now become preaching about their narrative and their views, such as, oh, homosexuality is natural. You can have an argument whether it is or isn't, but you can't tell children that it's natural. They have to come to that conclusion themselves. Whether it is or isn't, you can't tell them that, because that's brainwashing and that's not fair to the child or to the parents. Now, I'm not going to get into that because it is my belief that it is not my position to teach children about homosexuality. I have my opinions, but I believe it's a parent's responsibility to teach their children about such things as transgenders, homosexuality, the entire LGBTQ alphabet, and hello. There's a gay couple and a bisexual person in this book. It's not harped on. They give you a reference, and that's it. So I am obviously not a bigot, because I have Percy Jackson, which is a very diverse series once you get past the first 2 books, I think. I have the Red Pyramid, which is a, black kid, black dad, white sister. Got up on the shelf right up here, I have the entire Heroes of Olympus, which has black, Asian, Hispanic, white, Native American, it's got everyone, including a gay person. So I'm obviously not a bigot, because I read that stuff and I love it. Now, going off on this tangent again, Xander Hall claims that he is a very inclusive individual, and he is very tolerant, and he's very open to having discussions, all of which are lies. He is not tolerant. He is not... Again, he's dumb. He's just dumb. He's not a tolerant person. He's not a nice person. He is, in fact, an incredibly violent person. In the end of this last video, which he posted 6 days ago, I'm not entirely sure of the title, at the end of the video he says that people like Ben Shapiro, Andrew Clavin, or anyone he claims to be alt-right doesn't deserve to live. That's a very violent statement, and it's a very offensive statement. I don't see how that statement makes you tolerant or even remotely likable. So, I'm going to get heated if I don't take these breaks. Xander Hall was in the middle of trying to debunk Matt Walsh about... So some girl asked him a question. If science could ever entirely replace male and female parts, and you somehow transfer everything from a woman to a man and then turn that man into a woman, would it then be considered a woman? And Xander Hall used the Theseus boat, I think is what it's called. It's the question of, if you had a boat and over a certain amount of time you replaced each and every piece of wood on that boat, would the boat still be the same? The answer is no. Because if you're replacing every single piece of wood, it's still a boat, but if you've replaced every part of it, it's a new boat. If you replace 50% of it, it's 50-50. 70% of it, you've replaced 70%, it's 70-30. So, his argument was that if a man who wanted to become a woman, and vice versa, if they had replaced each and every part of their body system, it would still be the same person, but it's not. Again, even if you replaced every single bit of a woman's anatomy, every single thing about a woman, and turned it into a man with everything that makes a man, that woman no longer exists. It's now a new thing. It's now a new person. Just like the ship becomes a new ship. So it's an argument he really can't handle with that small brain of his. I hate to be that rude, but he's really just... He needs to be put in his place. He has way too many subscribers, and for goodness knows what reason. But still, following that same logic, if a woman turns into a man, she's still not an actual man, because gender and sex are the same thing. There is such a thing as a biological woman and a biological man. And YouTube, if you flag me for this, you're going to get roasted in my next video, so watch yourself. Next point. If you replace part of a female body with a male body, say you replace 70% of a female body with a male body, it's still 70-30. It's still not entirely a new gender, because that's not even possible. Now, if you're a transgender or trans man, say, which means you're a woman who's transformed into a man, you're still not a man. You're still a woman. And the proof is in your DNA with your chromosomes. And nature doesn't mess up. There is nothing in nature that can possibly mess up. Deformities, yes. Deformities happen. That's not necessarily a fault of nature. That is usually a fault in, like, if you have a bird with one wing, that's probably because the parents, the male and female bird, had some sort of problem. Just like humans. If And even in this, nature still doesn't mess up because nature didn't mess up itself, it had something holding it back. So, if you're someone born without, a few fingers or you're missing an entire limb, that's not because nature messed up, it's that nature was somehow blocked or somehow stopped from completing its naturalness. So the same thing applies to trans people. If you're a man, you want to be a woman, that's a problem in your brain because nature didn't mess up. You were born a man. Same thing goes for a girl. Nature didn't mess up. You were born a girl. There is nothing wrong with nature. So that's where Xander Hall has a big problem. He thinks gender and sex are different. He thinks that you can't be a biological woman or a biological man. You can be, and you are. And I'm going to have to end this video soon because I might punch a hole in this TV right over here. Sorry, it was crooked and that was bothering me. So, on that subject...
There may never be a better time to make a gift with such a great impact.
I hate that touchscreen. Anyway, I'm going to have to wrap this up because he's going to get me really, really, really angry. But the point is that that nature doesn't mess up. That was kind of his debunking thing where he debunks Matt Walsh. He didn't do a good job at all. So, I just kind of wanted to make my little video on that. I'm gonna start doing a debunking of his stuff. I might only do one like every other month because it takes a lot of brain power and a lot of willpower to not smash this tablet or any TV I'm watching it on, or even harm someone or something else because he's getting my blood boiling. So, just wanted to make this little video to kind of announce that, have a small little rant about YouTube, have a small little rant about Xander Hall. I'm going to continue doing these. I meant to do some more content earlier this week, but I just haven't had the time. So expect some more stuff coming later this week. See y'all later.